Everyone, I am Holly. Now, I just did a video earlier today, my interpretation of the Barbie movie. So my device was almost out of space, so I had to rush the end of my video and I had to cut it off. So I wanted to do this follow-up video and kind of get into a little bit more depth on my interpretation and how I viewed the movie. So again, I am Holly, and I'm sharing a part of my journey to bring courage and inspire you on yours. So if you haven't seen the Barbie movie, you can shut this video off. I'm going to be talking about things that actually do happen in the movie. And if you don't want me to spoil it for you, then save the link to this video. You can watch it after you see the movie. Again, it was phenomenal. How they directed it, the actors they chose, everything about it. It was absolutely amazing. So my biggest takeaways from it were how much it compares to our current ascension, and actually even what started a few years ago. So we were all given the option of having 20/20 vision of the things that were happening around us that maybe we didn't quite see before, or we just didn't fully grasp the multitude of hidden things that are happening in our lives, not just by the elite, but those in our lives, like those we've chosen to have in our lives, family, friends. So this movie, Barbie, it's how to express. You need to see it. If you haven't seen it yet, you have to see it. So they mirror each other, Barbie and Ken. Barbie is herself. She stands alone. She stands with her friends. She also stands with Ken. Ken, on the other hand, it's Barbie and Ken. Ken is only Ken because there's Barbie. So he is trying to get a grasp on how he can be in order for Barbie to see him. He's trying to get into her energy. He's trying to get into this area where she will actually appreciate him being there with her rather than just being there. So going through this movie again, where Barbie has a midlife crisis, which is brought on by the projection of this woman in the real world, projecting her negativity and fears and suicidal thoughts and depression, projecting it onto Barbie, to the dream world, to the dolls, and Barbie actually taking on that projection, where Barbie now is embodying that energy that this woman put out there. Ken being in the real world, where he gets to see how other men act, and where he lands is the corporate downtown high rises, stocks and bonds. Like, it's to see how differently they actually view each other, they view the world, they view themselves. So Ken wants to take on this persona of the ego, which is like the heightened masculine, where he is so unbalanced, where he is so forward focused on material things, wealth, not concerned with anything that's going on around him unless it increases his ego to a point where he has this false projection that he is actually truly successful. It's Oh my goodness. I would love to know if you saw what I saw, how differently you viewed the movie. Let me know in the comments below. It was so fascinating for me. I went into this gem store and I was conversing with the man, and there was a woman in the office behind, and she heard what I was saying, and she saw the movie also, and she knew about, seeing everything behind the veil, so she was on the same page as me. So I'd love to know if you feel the same, what you saw that was different. Maybe you saw some things I didn't. So they basically go in where Barbie wants to make everything right. She wants to fix everything that she views as wrong. And Ken goes in wanting to find some type of external validation, which gives him credit for him being there. He wants somebody to look up to him, to see him, and to accept him. Even though he doesn't know who the heck he is. He has no clue who he is himself, unless Barbie's right there. So Barbie goes off. She does her thing in the corporate world. Mattel tries to put her in a box. So they've got like the big life-size box with the light over in the corner. And Mattel is like so fascinated with Barbie being there, first of all. Second of all, they're like shitting their pants because she now is out of this fantasy and starting to think for herself and having a voice outside of the script that she's supposed to have. So Mattel tries to fit her into her little box. She makes an excuse because she sees exactly what they're trying to do. She runs away. Mattel tries to find her. So Barbie ends up going and finding the mother and the daughter. They go back to Barbie Land. This is just a quick run through. Go see part 1 that I just posted, and then you'll get kind of where I'm going with this. So they get back to Barbie Land. Ken has already taken over Barbie Land. It's now Ken Land, and there's going to be an official vote. And they've manipulated and MK Ultra'd all the Barbies into being their servants. They've seduced them. They're in like French maid dresses, cleaning and like massaging and like just waiting on the Ken's hand and foot. And so Barbie gets there with the mom and the daughter. They see everything. Barbie tries to get back into her house. Ken won't let her in. Ken's like super excited to see Barbie, but also he's got on his ego. He like huge ego, like I'm king shit, nobody can touch me. And Barbie is like, what do you mean? Like, this is my house. You're taking my house from me? She doesn't know how to react because everything has revolved around her before. So Barbie goes away crying, depressed, doesn't know what to do. She face plants in the grass while you end up seeing Ken go around the corner, and he's like really sad because he really wants Barbie in his life, but he can't be vulnerable. He can't express himself. He has no voice. He's been living in these nihilistic delusions, believing that his life is okay a certain way. And now he's like, oh, well, maybe this way where I'm in control of everything, maybe that's better. Maybe this will be fine and I'll get over Barbie not being here. He just doesn't realize yet. But again, they're in the beginning stages of their awakening and ascension. So Barbie now has searched for the truth. Because Barbie was doing this, Ken was mirroring what Barbie was doing. This is what happens with the masculine and feminine energies, the counterparts. So when you find your true counterpart, when you're a divine being, you find your true counterpart, you actually have lived super similar lives. Now, there's many options out there to choose for a partner. There are different partners that teaches different lessons. It's not to say that one's better than another. It's just to say that there are true divine counterparts which are meant to be together, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes one has chosen a weaker partner because it's easier for them to still do their addictive behaviors and they don't have to grow. They just get to be stagnant for the rest of their lives and settle. So Barbie is doing her thing with the awakening and trying to figure out how to fix everything. Ken is mirroring where he's doing something similar in the fact where he's still searching for knowledge. He's searching to learn, although what they find and how they interpret that is completely, it's based off their own lessons and life experiences. So the Barbie's face planted in the grass now. The mom and the daughter, they decide like, we got to snap these Barbies out of this. Like this is not good at all. And so the mom and the daughter make this plan that they're going to go and they're going to snap all of the Barbies out of their trance, and they're going to turn all the Kens against each other so that everything can be put back together while they're fighting before the big vote, where they vote it to be Ken land rather than Barbie land. So the mom and the daughter, they use their skill set in seduction and manipulation, and they pretend like they are infatuated with the Kens, which allows the other to come in and pull that Barbie out who's been seduced. And they pull the Barbie out, snap her out of it. They show her all these things, and she's like, whoa, what was I doing? Like, oh, I don't even know what came over me. And so then they get all the Barbies, which turns all the Kens against each other, because now there's nobody flocking to them. There's nobody that's infatuated with them. So then they turn against each other, because it's like, well, that Ken must have taken my Barbie, and that Ken, now they're against each other, so they're fighting on the beach, and it turns into a dance where they're still fighting, and then they're like, they stop fighting, and then they're all friends again. They go back, and Barbie's got her house back, Barbie land is back together, and all the Barbies are like, guess what? We're back. So at this point, they've done some reflection, right? Because they're still at a process in their ascension where they are still trying to figure out what it is, because all of this information is new, right? They've been living a certain way. Now all of a sudden they have all this new information that they've taken in, and they need to figure out how to process it. So when you get new information, you process it, you reflect on how everything has been, and you choose how to move forward. So this is the point that the Barbies and the Kens are at. Barbie now realizes how she treated Ken, because Ken finally starts to say a few things where Barbie doesn't realize that she was treating Ken like he was just a doormat. And Ken wasn't being vocal about his true feelings and his true essence, who he was and what he wanted. He felt like it wasn't okay to be him unless it was Barbie and Ken. So Barbie decides that she's going to go back to the real world and she's going to get a job. She knows too much, so she wants to explore more. She's not okay in that box anymore. She's not okay with just partying every night and just having a veil in front of her. It's like, wow, there's this huge world that like I didn't even know was out there. I'm going to explore that. So then Ken's like super lost. He's like, well, what am I going to do? Like it's Barbie and Ken. Like, what about me? And so this is the part where it's like, this is exactly where we're at in our existence right now. It's a matter of like choosing to leave behind and sacrifice everything you've known to move into the unknown. Who knows what's out there? Who knows where it'll lead us? So Barbie says to Ken, she's like, "You're Ken. You are Ken." And he's like, "What?" She's like, "You are Ken." And he's like, "I am Ken. I am Ken? I am Ken." And he's like, "Holy moly. Like, I get to choose? I get to be me? Being me is okay? Being me is enough? I don't need Barbie and Ken?" I am enough? Mattel's in the background and they're watching the ending part. It's such a great movie when you can see and resonate with their story and the opportunities that all of us have. It's a pretty profound realization when you don't need somebody else to tell you who you are. You get to choose. Do you want to keep doing everything you've been doing for the past 40 years? For the past 30 years? Or do you want to have faith and move into the unknown? Like they tell us life doesn't last that long. Our life is pretty short when you think about it. You want to give up on finding something new? You look at these stories in Hollywood. You look at these like people that own 13 different mansions in 13 different countries, and all these people that have been given things for contracts that they signed in exchange for sacrificing their life. And then you see these people that literally worked from the ground up themselves with nothing. You see people that had everything and they've lost everything, and they didn't let them get that. They didn't let that get them down. They didn't turn bitter. So you get to choose. You get to choose, and when you are constantly attaching yourself to others because you're so afraid to be alone, you're so afraid of being by yourself. Why? What are you afraid of? You don't like yourself? What have you done that makes you not like yourself? Or is it what everybody else has told you about you? Have you created this version of yourself that because everybody else told you that you could never do that, you'll never be good enough? Or they suppressed you and your emotions? Or they told you not to speak out or not to talk about that, or you shouldn't feel that way? So you're so afraid of being alone because you think you'll be lonely? My heart goes out to you. I've been alone more times than not. I'm even talking like I've had so many friends in my life. I've never had one super close group of friends except for a few scattered friends. Because I knew everybody, and everybody knew me. And I did no wrong. I did no harm to anyone. So my story of being alone for so long, most of my my romantic partnerships lasted maybe 3 months. That's the majority of them. Because I'd rather see that we're not going to be together, that it's not meant to be, and leave on good terms, then I would rather try to make something work that is not supposed to work. All of my romantic partnerships combined, like I didn't even seriously date till I was 19. All of my romantic partnerships combined probably total maybe 7 years. Total. Maybe 8. Probably not that much though. I don't even think it'd be that long. Like, I value myself. I value, I'll do a different video on that. Why I'm still single and due to my values. So back to Barbie and Ken. It's up to you. Yeah, we play on each other's energies. Yeah, our feminine ascends, which triggers the masculine to ascend. And then it gets to a point where it's like this push and pull. And when we can't focus on improving ourselves, we're also letting that other person down. Because now we're attached energetically and they feel your energy. So now that Barbie chose to seek more truth, seek more knowledge, to gain more experience in the real world, it makes room for Ken. It opens up this whole new world for him, where he's able to see who he truly is, and he can finally have a voice and be vulnerable and express himself, where he's not, even if he's not accepted, that's okay. Because when you express yourself, those that are meant to be in your life come in your life. So I encourage you to rewatch the Barbie movie. I could watch it probably once a month. Like it'd probably get tired after that. I don't watch a lot of TV. So, but seriously, it is great. And when you can just slow down and take in some of what they're putting out there to you, just know that you are enough. You don't need somebody else to validate you. Our Creator placed you here. There are no mistakes. You are here for more than what you could even imagine. So my wish for you is to hear these words. If it resonates and you know some people that have already seen the movie, share the video with them. And I'd love to know in the comments, if you've seen it, do you see the same things I saw? Did you see something different? Maybe I pointed out something you didn't see. And take with you what you will in order to reflect more and forgive yourself for not having this knowledge before. Be easy with yourself. Forgive others, no matter how wrong they've done you. We're all here coming in with the veil over our eyes, our heart, our vessel. The veil is strong, and depending on how others were raised, You can't align with them. You can't speak. You just waste your energy. So forgive at a distance. Embrace who you truly are. And if you don't know that yet, then you have to explore. You have to find out your values. You have to find what you like, what makes you happy, what brings you joy. And then you will be able to attract in. When you get to a higher frequency, you attract in rather than attracting in those projections. Like what the mother projected onto Barbie, and Barbie felt all of that negativity. Rather than that, you are projecting. And you've got this whole space around you that nothing can penetrate you. But you have to be strong first. So take a lesson from Ken, knowing that doesn't matter what kind of childhood wounding, trauma you have, codependency issues, trauma bonding in relationships. Love yourself and accept that you recognize what you've been through. You recognize how badly you treated yourself by allowing these dark, negative people into your life. It was all meant to happen. It was all for a lesson. I truly wish nothing but greatness for each and every one of you. Blessings to you all.